quoted phrase that came from the reading, and I believe I put in the outline too. 3 or 4 words in quotes that kind of described what the welfare state was. Cradle to grave. What does that mean, Esther?
From the beginning that you're born until you die, you're like the government, somebody's going to take care of you no matter what.
Yeah, basically what you're going to see here, as far as redistribution goes, with the welfare state, they are going to be very active and very aggressive as far as redistributing monies. They're going to very much redistribute monies. Now, the interesting thing about this is they're going to provide all these services, but what are they also going to have to do since they're redistributing? Go ahead.
Don't they take half your income away usually?
They're going to be taking gargantuan taxes away. And as they take more and more taxes away, they're going to take sometimes 50% or higher, which means less and less money. Socialists do this as well. The difference, though, is in regulation. Under socialism, they're going to be redistributing. It's basically going to be set up so that private property, or the quote-unquote man, so to speak, is going to be trying to be done away with. Down here in a welfare state, the regulation is going to be very minimal. They are going to be trying to set it up so that everybody's got something, but everybody's also going to have the freedom to be able to go into business. So they're trying to basically do socialism without taking away the initiative, kind of, so to speak. So everybody's going to have, but everybody's still going to be free to pursue to a certain extent. You can still make a better finish line, if you will. Now, having said this, in the United States, which of these 2 categories are we moving closer to?
Welfare state.
We are, because of the health care plan, because of the stimulus plan, because of the bank bailouts. I mean, when you think about this, what are we ultimately doing? We're actually probably even moving toward both of them in the grand scheme of things, because as the government redistributes more, it's also regulating more, which means our taxes are going to get pretty high pretty soon if they actually enact everything that they say they're going to enact. So we should be wary. Go ahead.
I couldn't remember. Would you consider, I guess, Canada and I guess the UK to an extent to be welfare states since they have free healthcare?
I would venture, and the chapter mentions a lot of European countries would be considered more welfare states. Canada would be a reasonably good example. Britain would be a little bit better, and a lot of those Western European democracies would be even maybe a little bit better than Britain.
How come
Yes.
it doesn't work for the U.S. then?
Well, we don't want to do that. I mean, when you think about it, who spends your money better? Is it the government or you? Okay, they would have an argument to saying in a welfare state the government spends it better, so we need to give more of our money to them so that they can provide for everyone.
But doesn't it work?
Well, it's worked reasonably well to this point, but I'll tell you, if my typical taxes is about 25 to 30%, and you want me to pay 50, and I'm going to be paying for things that other people should be providing for themselves, I think somebody could make the argument that I should be able to spend my money on me, right?
But then you don't pay that South Carolina insurance policy, which is probably another.
Well, you know, when you think about it, that could be. But I mean, like, if you work for the state, what's your health insurance going to cost you?
I don't know.
The state, generally speaking, is going to cover your health care. In North Carolina, when I taught school down there, the public schools might not have paid that much, but they covered all of your insurance benefits. So when you think about it, why would I, if I've already got this, and I could just spend my own money on me or a wife or a sweetie or whatever it would be, you know, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, why would I want to give up that much money? Bottom line is, I don't know that I really would. And some people would, like you said, would be more inclined, I can spend my money better than the government can for me, so don't tax me, let me do my own thing. That's why the U.S. hasn't gone there. Now, the last one up here was statist, and Susie, as I recall, was a really good example of a statist. The statists are, like laissez-faire, are going to believe in limited regulation. Back in old Nazi Germany, and this was a really good example, you could make a frickload of money back in those days. Having said this, they did not redistribute anything. Their redistribution, the idea, what was Hitler's idea when it came to redistribution? What was his #1 rule for the state when he was dealing with his country's population?
It was like a survival of the fittest type of idea, right?
Survival of the fittest. What does that mean exactly? Go ahead, Orlando.
He said if you couldn't provide anything to the government, then you might as well drop dead.
Yeah, if you weren't providing, then you were a burden. And if you were a burden, you're not helping us go forward, so you might as well not be here. So he killed disabled folks. He killed old people. He killed people that would have been a drain on the resources to his state. And the thought was, you know, if we're paying you to be here, you're not giving us anything of any value, so screw it, you know, if we're better off without you kind of thing. Did it work? It could be argued that maybe in some capacities it did.